Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k. It's the best time of the week. It's battle report time. And we get to throw down some dice and smash each other up. I got Jakey Boy here with me again for another battle report. And we are going at it again. So what have we got here? We've got Blood Angels versus Death Guard. I'm going to be heading up my Blood Angels, which when we go through, I've pretty much repainted this entire army since being in isolation. And then we've also got the Death Guard, which have got a different way of running, as you can see, is a Land Raider and stuff like that. And yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll go through each list. I'm going to be heading up Blood Angels. Jakey Boy's going to be heading up Death Guard, and we'll see what's in them. We'll start with the Blood Angels and have a look. First things first, I've pretty much repainted this entire army. Been putting little snippets of things up on the community bit and also on the Facebook page. One of the biggest additions that I'm really happy with is these new Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, which I added in for some extra punch. So we've redone the big Redemptor, and even all these units have been redone, repainted, new sort of scheme going on, looking good. Alright, so let's go through what we got. So the army is 9 command points because we've got a battalion and an elite detachment. So Warlord of the army is Captain Lucian, who's a Primaris captain. He's got Master Artisan as his Warlord, and he's got the Decimator Relic Auto Bolt Rifle there. So he's the main HQ. Then we've got Mephiston in here. He's got Wings of Sanguinius, Shield of Sanguinius, and I think it's the Quickening. Yeah, so he's got that. And then the last HQ over here, we've got a Sanguinary Priest. He's just got his chainsaw and a jump pack. They're the 3 HQs. So these two are leading the battalion, and in the battalion we've got 1, 2, 3 freshly painted units of Primaris Intercessors, all with auto bolt rifles and power fists on sergeants. Then in the elites detachment, we've got old boy here leading them. We've got a Sanguinary Ancient. He's got a relic, so his relic is the relic of, I think it's called the Banner of Sacrifice. Gives him the Feel No Pain. So he's rocking that bad boy. Then we've got the Hammernator squad. So 5, all Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. We've got a Death Company Dreadnought at the back. Then over here, we've got the big Redemptor. He's running the Plasma, as some feedback from you guys on the channel. Running that. Okay, so that's the elites, and then in the heavy, I've got my repainted unit of Assault Plasma Welding Hellblasters. I went with the Assault because every weapon in the army where I can take Assault will be Assault. It just works better with the Doctrine. They can move and keep up with the army and shoot. So then, Heavy Detachment Part 2, Baal Predator as always. It's not the most competitive, but I love this thing just because I painted the shit out of it and it looks cool. So that's the army at 9 command points, 1 spent for the extra relic, so we'll be going into battle with 8 command points, and 1,500 points total for the army. Well, it's not quite, it's 12 points off, but what are you going to do? Alright. So, next up in the list for the... Oh, I don't think I mentioned. Yeah, I did actually. Go on. I'm losing my mind here. I've been locked inside for too long. Alright, going over the Death Guard army. So, in this one, we've just got a battalion. It actually looks significantly smaller, doesn't it? Damn GW always low on the prices of Space Marines. So, in this one, so leading the army, as usual, we've got the Terminator Captain, Combi Plasma, Dirty Putrid Sword for rerolling wounds, and he's got the Fulgaris Helm and Arch Contaminator as his Warlord trait. Gives the bubble of the reroll 1s to hit and the full reroll of wounds. Then also today for the second HQ, we've got none other than Typhus here. He's going to have Miasma of Pestilence and Blades of Putrefaction. So they're the 2 HQs. We've got 1, 2, 3 units of 5 Plague Marines. In each of them, they've got the Blight Launcher grenades, and on the Champion, they've got plasma guns. So that's it for them, just cheap and cheerful, lots of guns. Well, actually, they're not that cheap, but they're relatively cheerful. So that's the battalion. Then in elites, we've got 1, 2 foul blight spawns. Then we've got 3 Death Shroud Terminators here with their big scythes looking badass. They're going to be going with Typhus. Then we've got a Tallyman here too for rerolls to hit in combat. And they will be riding in this heavy support Land Raider, aka the Rave Cave, which will be scooting around the battlefield, letting off las cannons and doing crazy things. Then we got 1, 2 Fetid Bloat Drones with the Plague Spitters. So, we've gone with a Land Raider today because obviously Typhus, his 3 Death Shrouds, and this boyo will be getting around in that and jumping out and hopefully getting rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound against these nasty red enemies. Alright, so that's the 2 lists. We'll roll up a mission and we'll get back to you and we'll see who can come out on top in this epic battle. Alright guys, we've rolled up a mission and the mission is Beachhead. So, rules for Beachhead are, there's 1 objective in the centre here, then 1 in each of our deployments. The Blood Angels one is here, and then if we come around to the other side over here, the Death Guard one is under there. So pretty much coming straight down this centre here, it looks like we're going to have another gritty battle, but that's the way we like it. So Jake, I rolled the highest so I got to pick the deployment zone, so I picked frontline assault, so I could sort of get as forward as I could, but I sort of toe tapped as well. He got set up first, so what has he done? So to the left over here, with the Land Raider, nice driving position down here and can come straight across. Inside that we've got Typhus, the 3 Death Shrouds, and the Tallyman, so that's the assault vehicle, and the guns, it's the hostess with the mostess, the Rave Cave. Yep, that's where I'm at right now. Behind here, he's got 2 Fetid Bloat Drones, unit of Plague Marines, unit of Plague Marines, unit of Plague Marines, 2 Foul Blight Spawns, and the Warlord in Terminator armor in the centre. So that's his setup. He's quite well versed at using this army now, so I'm very wary now when I take him on. Alright, now for the Blood Angels, I'll film from this side to start with because the majority of them are at the front of this building. So we've got the Sanguinary Ancient up the top. He's looking over this centre here where he plans to rule with his banner. We've got the Grail Man, the Sanguinary Priest, the cup full of blood. He loves it. Up there with him. Down here we got the Captain. Next to him we got Mephisto, and then we got 1, 2 units of Intercessors. Now I'll come back around this other side to show you the rest of it because it's from the other angle. From the right going across, we've got the Baal Predator so that nothing can see it going out that way. In front of that we've got the Death Company Dread. We've got another unit of Intercessors here just sort of staying out of the way. In here, tucked away, the Hellblasters, because as I said before, all this stuff's been freshly painted. I don't want to lose any of it first round. And then we got the Dread here sort of hiding out back. As you can see, these guys are at the front. So, with that setup, Death Guard will be going first, unless I can seize the initiative, which I'm going to attempt because that's the kind of player I am. That is a 2. So, it doesn't matter what kind of player I am because it looks like Death Guard's going first. So, Jakey boy will be getting at it and attempting to smite my men out of their castle here. Such a cool picture when you first set up your army and they're all in their terrain and looking cool before they all get blown to bits. But hey, that's how it goes. So I'll let Jake have his first turn with the Death Guard and see if I can't fend him off and then get back to it. Alright, at the end of Death Guard turn 1, what have we got here? So, all these guys here have pretty much pushed through the building and all come out here. These 2 have jumped over the building from here, and the Land Raider has come chugging around here. Alright, shooting. So the Land Raider fired across here with its las cannons, hit the Baal Predator. He only done 4 wounds, but then his heavy bolters and Havoc missile launcher killed one of these Primaris guys and wounded another. Then the rest of these guys shooting over here killed 2 more Primaris Marines on this right hand or left for the Blood Angels, right for them. 2 more of them were wounded 1. So there was no first strike, but they've made a solid move to the centre here. Like that objective is right there, and the other objective's just under here. So they've got a good firm grip where they don't have to go too far just yet, and they can control this environment. So I'll go have my Blood Angels turn and see if I can't remove some of this stuff out of my side. Alright, end of Blood Angel turn 1. What do we got? We've got some shooting, we got some chopping, we got some more shooting. So pretty much everything that was back here has advanced forward. So we're pretty much right up in these guys' grill, pretty much on the objective. Starting from right over here, this is ran to get behind cover here. Dakapred's just moved up here. This guy sort of stepped out and he's holding onto this back objective, and the rest of these guys sort of move forward. The Sangri Priest healed one of these guys, then brought another one back for a command point. I spent a few command points because I had to pay to do it again and then pay to reroll, so it actually ended up costing me 2. Don't know if it was worth it. This guy paid Big Guns Never Tire. He shot over here and took 4 wounds off the Dread with 2 of his shots. Then the Dakapred shot into it, took another couple of wounds off. These guys shot into it because they had no other thing to shoot at. Did nothing at all. This guy with his Decimator took down 2 Plague Marines. The rest of these guys sort of shot in here and killed another Plague Marine. And then these guys shot at one of these fetid bloat drones. The Hellblasters did nothing. I didn't overcharge or anything like that because they ran to get to where they are. So this centre bit didn't really do a great deal of damage, but then Mephiston, he moved here, he was here in this gap, and then he, like a giant bat, ended up over here and chopped another 9 wounds off this thing. So the land rate is actually on 1 wound. So, and Mephiston's like deep in enemy lines over here. He's way out of town over there. So it could be a bad mistake. I tried to hide him sort of behind there because I was hoping if he cut the vehicle down, then I could sort of consolidate around behind that building and cause a bit of whatever I'm trying to cause here. Bit of distraction, bit of go fuck yourself Plague Marines, you know, all that stuff. So I didn't get first strike. Jakey boy hasn't got first strike. So at the end of Blood Angels turn 1, we pretty much go into round 2 and then we start scoring on objectives. So we'll get back to you in a minute and see what we can do. Alright guys, Jake turned shit way up this turn and just smashed through my lines like severely. So we'll start over here. Mephiston just got pumped. Pretty much, it was a foul bite spawn, just come around the corner, pumped him. This thing was there as some backup. Did a few shots. This shot some las cannons, everything at him. Either way, he didn't last. He perished. That was a foolhardy mistake of mine. I was hoping to kill that and it was only 1 wound off and I could have got around here. Thinking back, I should have paid the extra command points to attack again to get out of here. But it might not have saved me anyway because the foul bite spawns were coming for me. Either way, in this centre bit, combination of shooting from all these Marines, which is just devastating with all their rerolls and all their crap, blew chunks through Marines. Then these big guys come running in here and chopped out more chunks. The 2 intercessor squads that were in here, gone skis. Even all the way back here, 3 of the Hellblasters, gone skis. Their captain, he's down 4 wounds. They just absolutely chomped through this centerpiece. I reckon that turn I must have lost like close to 500 points in this devastating push forward. I still got a lot of stuff left on the table. We got some Terminators coming in, so we may be able to answer back to these guys. But Typhus and these guys did not lose a single wound in there. Toughness 5, 2 wounds apiece, 4 up Invon. Feel no pain on top of that. They're just giant walking death machines just marching on through. So at the end of well, I haven't had my turn yet, but so far we're on 1 point each, holding our respective each end objectives. But this one in the centre here, I've got to do something to take it back because he's made a massive push. As you can see, that's all Death Guard now, and I'm out here on the outside. So we'll get back to Blood Angels turn 2, see if I can't do something, and if I don't start chomping into these guys, this could be a quicken. Alright. Alright guys, at the end of Blood Angel turn 2, things did not get much better. So, shooting wise, there wasn't a lot of shooting. This shot across over here and killed one Plague Marine with all of its DACA. These guys didn't do anything. No, actually, shooting wise, the only thing that happened shooting wise was that killing that one Plague Marine. Alright, combat wise, they took a couple of wounds off this. This Redemptor Dreadnought ran into here, did not hurt a single Death Shroud Terminator, and then copped 11 wounds back. This Death Company Dreadnought ran in, finished off the Land Raider, and took 2 wounds off this guy. He should have a dice on him saying he's got 2 wounds on him. Jeez, bloody Christ, Jake, what are you doing here, mate? I need all the wounds I can get, you cheat me out here. And then these guys come down here and they failed their charge. So they're just kind of standing there. At least they have storm shields. It's something. It's not something. They're probably going to die. Don't be like that. Alright, so at the end of this round, because we're contesting this center objective here, as in there's a Dreadnought and this guy on it, none of them are troops choices, they're both single models. We both have our home base objective. So, we're going to go on to Death Guard turn 3 and see if I can live through this onslaught. My big chance is I'm hoping these guys over here live and just mash their way through. It might happen, it might not happen. The chances of it not happening are probably higher than it happening, but hey. Sanguinius, give me power now. Alright, we'll get back to you at the end of Death Guard turn 3. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 3. Have you ever felt like you were just pushing shit uphill and going nowhere? That's how I feel right now. So, pretty much everything on this side shot over here. They only killed 2 of these guys. Their storm shields held up. Thank Sanguinius. There's still 3 of them there. Between 2 foul blight spawns and all these grenades and stuff. Firing away over into the pretty boys over here. There, alright. Over here, it was just a massacre through the centre. Typhus ran in and just destroyed the Death Company Dread with ease, I might add. Like, it was not hard. These guys smashed Redemptor Dread. No vehicles blew up, thank God, because that could have been bad for me. And then over here, this combat just goes on. There's we lost actually another Primaris Marine in this combat, and also another Hellblaster was shot because these guys moved in to take dominance on this center, shot across here and killed them. So we're really losing guys like it's serious shit right now. But there are a few plays to get me back in the game. Not many of them, but just a couple. If I can't pull them off, I'm surely going to be smoked after turn 3. But if I can pull them off, we'll be in the game. Alright, we'll get back to you after Blood Angels turn 3. See if I can't spin this round, otherwise it's going to be real bad. Alright guys, end of Blood Angel turn 3, and I think we're at least back in the game. We're by no means going to win at this point, because there's loads of these Death Guard. We're just back in the game. So what happened? Between the shooting from this Hellblaster, and actually majority, the Decimator off this guy, we killed the Death Shroud Terminators that were there. Just with a hail of fire, managed to kill them. Thank God. Then in here, these guys ran in. The whole idea was, I moved them 5 across here, which got them to about here. I jumped the guys that were here, over here to here. I used the Sangry Priest to get one of these guys back up, and then also jumped the Banner guy over to give him feel no pain. Then they ran in and just mashed their way through Typhus and the Plague Marines that were here. Having the Assault Doctrine kick in, which meant that their hammers were AP4, flat 3 damage. The average guy was getting 4 hammer hits. Reroll 1s because this guy was within 6. And then reroll wound rolls 1 because this guy was here. Feel no pains, you name it. Smashed our way through the centre here and held on to this objective with more men. There's no troops there, but he's got this guy. We've got more guys here claiming it. So at the end of turn 3, the Blood Angels are on 5 points and the Death Guard are on 3 points. They've still got a massed amount of troops and things on the field. No one's got Warlord or anything like that yet. I can't get rid of this thing. It's still just holding these guys here. That was just an intense turn. Like, that come down to actually just really having to get that to come off to even stay in the game. If I did not pull that off, we may as well call it turn 3. This is a testament to never stop having a crack and keep rolling those dice, keep being tactical. Don't just go, oh no, it looks like I've lost the game. We still might lose here, but at least we've smashed our way back into it. Alright, we'll get back to you. Death Guard turn 4. And see if they can come and take it from our Thunderhammer Storm Shield Welding Knights. Let's do this. End of Death Guard turn 4. What has happened here? Little bits of this and little bits of that. So, all these guys back here. Everything here in the centre. And this guy here. Shot into here, reducing the Assault Terminators down to 1 guy left. Then this guy backed out of combat and melted these guys down to 1 guy left. Pretty quick turn for the Death Guard. This guy passes leadership, by the way, because he's a veteran and he's also near the banner. With his reroll and all that jazz. There's a lot of these guys left. But the Blood Angels are on 5 points and the Death Guard are on 4 points. Most of the Blood Angels units are like down to 1 guy, just scattered heroes everywhere. But that's okay. That's the way they like it. So, it's probably not the way they like it, but hey, they're used to it. Blood of Baal, mate. The Tyranids come and ruined everything and we're just used to fighting this way now. So, lots and lots of Death Guard left. Vehicles as well, tough as nails. We'll go to Blood Angels turn 4 and see if we can at least reduce some of this number, score some more points and just show them who's boss. Alright, we'll get back to this. Alright guys. End of Blood Angel turn 4. We're definitely in the game here. Just by the skin of our teeth, but definitely in the game. So, this thing shot across here and killed that 4-man unit of Plague Marines. Obliterated them with just a hail of bullets. This guy shot into the bloat drone that was here, wounded it. Then the captain and the Primaris Sergeant ran in and smashed that one to pieces, then consolidated into this one. And then this guy chomped down the Primaris Sergeant, so that was sad. These guys, first off, so they all charged around the back, multi-charging, managing to ward off hits on the shield from the Foul Blight spawns. Multi-charging, getting in with the Warlord and both the Foul Blight spawns. But I directed all my attacks at the Foul Blight spawns because I thought, even if this guy cuts someone down in combat, we do not want them things getting out. They're foul. So we did manage to smash him. This guy smashed one with about 57 shots, and then this guy with his Incarmine sword. Remembering it's the Assault Doctrine now, so most power weapons in this army, like hammers and swords and stuff, are all +1 to wound, AP4, and we're getting a bucket load of extra attacks. Once we get to this Combat Doctrine, shit starts getting real. This guy then hit back and cut the banner down to 1 wound left, so cut 3 off him. So he's got a good chance of getting rid of my Feel No Pain here. He's still got more Plague Marines back here. He's still got all this stuff. This has definitely come down to the wire. So we'll let the Death Guard go into their turn 5 and see what they do, because this shit's getting crazy. Alright. Alright, end of Death Guard turn 5. Jake the Sneaky Git has done some sneaky stuff. So, first off, he used these guys to come out and shoot across to this guy. They only managed to take 1 wound of him. He stood firm, held the objective. Good little Blood Angel man. Then they ran in here, and these guys punched off the last wound of the Banner Bearer and finished him off. And then this guy turned around and chopped down the Sanguinary Priest after it with his Baal sword. Then this guy hit back at him, took 3 wounds off him. Then the combat over here, this guy did nothing to the captain, and the captain hit him and took 3 wounds off him. So the Blood Angels are going to go into their turn 5 and see what they can do. But he's taken out all support characters and put himself in a position where he's on 6 points now. Caught up to me. see what I can do next turn. I've still got the Baal Predator. Everyone diss the Baal Predator. Still on the battlefield. Just joking. We'll get back and we'll see what we can do. See if we can't obliterate these guys and move on with a victory for Sanguinius. Okay guys, end of Blood Angel turn 5. Not a lot happened between the Baal Predator here and this Hellbuster. They shot over here and killed one of these Plague Marines. Combat here, the Thunderhammer Storm Shield whiff, did nothing, and then he got 1 wound taken off him in return from the Lord. Then over here, this guy managed to take 1 wound off this. So we've actually retallied the points, and at the end of turn 5, Blood Angels are on 7 and Death Guard are on 5. So at this point, the only reason that Blood Angels are 2 points ahead is because for 1 turn they managed to hold this uncontested, whereas no one else throughout the game managed to do it. So if the game ends here, it's a Blood Angel victory. Otherwise we go on and who knows what will happen. So we'll roll the dice on a 1 or 2, the game ends. It just never ends. Alright, so we're going on to the Death Guard's next turn, and I've got a funny feeling that they've got enough stuff here to be quite cranky, retaliate, and just frankly mess my shit right up. So we'll get back to yous and see what happens. Alright guys, end of the Death Guard turn. They just turned it up again. So these guys ran over to here, stood on this objective. They can run and shoot their assault weapons because of their, can't even say it, Ignoxor advance. Shot over here, killed the Hellbuster. This guy cut down the last Haminator. This guy backed out, blew away the captain, scoring Warlord. So at the end of this turn 6 for these guys, they're on 8 points. And the Blood Angels are on 7 points. The only thing these guys have left is this Baal Predator. So, going to see what I can do with the Baal Predator. We'll get back to you in a minute and see what happens. Alright guys, end of the Blood Angel turn. What have we done? Pretty much moved from here onto the objective, shot in here and killed 1 guy. Now all that's done is allowed us to hold our objective on our turn, which has put us up to 8, and they are on 8. So, if the game ends here, we have ourselves a draw. That's about it to it. It never friggin' ends. Alright, so, at this point then, if that's a 6, that is definitely a Death Guard win. There's no way we can score the points. Just because they can hold that center objective, move back onto that objective. All I've got is 1 model left to hold this objective. So, it was good while it lasted. Could have got the draw. It was a hard fought battle, to be honest. Like, I reckon around turn 2, the Blood Angels started just going up the shitter and there was nothing we could do about it. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. As I said, it's definitely going to be a Death Guard win. This thing is not even, I think it's got like, 4 wounds off it, and there's a full unit of these guys. As I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold more objectives than these guys or remove them off the board. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm definitely giving man of the match to, I'll just grab one here, the Haminators. These guys. I was just talking to Jake and he's decided to give man of the match to a very similar unit, the Death Shroud Terminators. The reason we both chose these, I know these things are still on the battlefield, like all these little bits and bobs, but these things come in and they're very similar in battle role. You know, slow moving, hard to kill, massive damage output, and both of them did. The Death Shrouds come through the center here and cleared it out, but then in retaliation, the Thunderhammer guys come in and cleared it out coming back across this way. So it just goes to show that, you know, these sorts of units in your army, even if you just have one, can be real game changers. If I didn't have the Thunderhammer Terminators, I wouldn't have been able to clear out that centre. Same as if he didn't have the Death Shroud Terminators, he wouldn't have been able to clear out the centre. So you can sort of see how that works with the whole having these sorts of really tough, solid damage output units. Just fought really hard for this centre thing while troops were just getting splattered everywhere. Anyway, that's my ass kicked again. I think that's several times in a row. Jakey boy's kicked my ass now. I'm on a real bad losing streak here. So I'm going to have to get back to the drawing board and do some mathematics and get back to it. I'm blaming it on that I've repainted this entire Blood Angels army, and that's why it's all gone wrong. Because that's just what I'm coming up with. Hope you've enjoyed this. Keep safe, and we'll get back to you again with more shenanigans and more cool shit. Alright, enjoy guys.